There's a lot of things that no one tells you about being a DJ producer. It's not all sunshine and rainbows. It all looks great, playing on stage to thousands of people, traveling to cool countries, having your music heard and enjoyed on your dream labels, but it's not like that all the time. Let's talk about the real life of a DJ producer, and hopefully you can then understand and prepare for the road ahead. If you don't know, I'm Justin. I run Cosmic Academy. We're an artist development school. We've been around now for over 11 years. We've worked with over 700 incredible DJs and producers. And these people, they get incredible results. They sign to the biggest labels: Toolroom, Armada, Monstercat, Anjuna. They play the biggest shows: Tomorrowland, EDC, Electric Zoo. They tour all over the world, and they do encounter a lot of the things we're going to talk about today. So my students are going to deal with this stuff. You're going to deal with this stuff. And make no mistake, the biggest artists in the world deal with this stuff. Just no one talks about it. And I want to be clear, some of these things are going to sound kind of hard, but I'm not trying to dissuade you from taking this path. Being a DJ producer is one of the coolest jobs in the world. I just think there's a lot of people on the internet that just glorify, the glitzy stuff. But here's the truth. First thing, you're going to get rejected a lot. Maybe you're new to this, maybe you're not. If you aren't, then maybe you've already been rejected, maybe by a label, maybe by a venue, but it's just part of the business. And your favorite artists, the big ones, they deal with it too. Every artist deals with rejection. Linkin Park was famously rejected 80, 90 times before finding the label. Calvin Harris still has and keeps his rejection letter from Defected from when they rejected him. Ed Sheeran, the Beatles, Lady Gaga. You've heard of them all. They've all been rejected. So it won't be any different for you. And the rejection doesn't end. Now, this is really important. A lot of my students who get success, they're on Anjuna, they're on Toolroom, they're on Dim-Mak, they're on Monstercat. You think, okay, now everything's just going to be easy.
That was easy.
Nope. You're still going to be pitching. You're still going to be making the music, and it's still going to get some rejection. I'll tell you a quick story about this. I was once doing shows with one of the biggest DJs, one of the biggest EDM acts ever, like a legend. And I was using his computer for something. And I noticed there was 100 songs in this one folder. And I had to be curious, and I started listening to these songs. And I'm like, holy shit, what's in this folder? These are amazing. And he looks at me and he goes, yeah, the label's rejected all that. So this doesn't stop. When you hear an album of 12 songs from your favorite artist, realize that there were 100 extras that didn't make the cut. The next thing you have to deal with. No one talks about it, but there's the constant requirement to improve. You're never going to get to a place with your music where you can just say, okay, I don't need to work on this anymore. I don't need to get any better. And then you just coast. No, it doesn't work that way. You have to keep at it. Why? Well, number one, everyone around you is constantly improving and getting better. There's also new people popping up who are constantly getting better. And it's also a bit like the gym, where if you stop, you get out of shape. You could lose it. And like I said before, the biggest artists in the world also deal with this. Go listen to the quality of one of your favorite artists' tracks from 10 years ago. You listen to a Deadmau5 song 10 years ago, yeah, it was great. But listen to the stuff today, even better. Listen to a Skrillex record from 10 years ago, really great. The stuff today sounds even better. Everyone is leveling up, so you have to also. And if you do need some extra help and you're serious, you want to take this to the next level, apply to our development program. I'm going to leave a link below in the comments to apply to Cosmic Academy. The next thing no one talks about, the lack of support. At the beginning, you might have some support from your friends. Hey, go get them. You're going to do great at this. But as you continue, it gets tough. We work a lot on this in our program. And we have a community of people that are around us to give support. Because when you're on the road, or you're tired, or when you're dealing with rejection, being on your own is tough. Maybe even right now, you're finding it hard to motivate yourself by yourself. So there's typically a lack of support that all artists deal with. And that brings me to my next point. Another thing no one talks about, the loneliness. It's lonely out there.
I walk a lonely road.
It seems like you're constantly surrounded by people. It seems like when you make it, there's 1,000 people in front of you when you play. And then you have your team always with you, your manager, your agent. But what people don't see is when you go back to your hotel room at night and all that serotonin and the noise, it's all gone. And now you're just by yourself with your thoughts. And you're likely in a foreign city, in a different bed, and you miss your friends and you miss your family. What we see online from the DJs we love, it seems like a constant party, but it's not. It gets lonely out there. It gets lonely on this pursuit of our dreams. And that's another reason why having the community is so key. The next thing no one talks about, self-doubt. No matter how successful you get, no matter how skilled you are, you're probably going to say to yourself, I hate my kick drum. And then you tell yourself that you should give up. And when it comes to these creative pursuits, it's just so subjective like that. And if you're hard on yourself now, that's not going to change either. And the only way to correct this is feedback. Now, obviously, that's another thing we do in our premium program. But if you're not in a feedback community, get yourself in one. It doesn't have to be our big school. It could just be you and 2-3 producer friends. Because that self-doubt you have in your music, that's going to be a challenge forever. But having someone tell you, hey, dude, it's okay. The kick drum is actually fine. Just send this off to the label. It's ready. You got this. That right there makes all the difference. The next thing no one talks about, the extra work that you don't want to do. You know you need to do the social media, and that's not going to change. You have to keep doing it. Even if you're the biggest artist, even if you're Diplo, you have to keep doing it. You know you need to keep pitching, and you hate pitching. You have to pitch your music. You have to pitch the labels, the blogs, the promoters. That's not going to change. And there's going to be even more stuff as you get more successful. Accounting and taxes and hiring and firing, dealing with contracts, dealing with the politics. We all like to think that it's just the music, but there's so much more that goes into it. And the further you get along, there's more and more and more. Which brings me to the next thing no one talks about, the balance. Artists don't talk about this enough, but learning the skill of balance is crucial to any artist making it. Balancing all this extra work, but also balancing a social life, balancing a romantic life, balancing with your family. You might also be balancing a side job, a side hustle, a different career altogether. You know, we love to think that at some point, if you make it far enough, that you'll just be able to focus 100% on making music. That's probably never going to happen. You're always going to have shit going on. So start practicing this skill now. It's going to be invaluable when things really get going. And if you want to go even deeper on these topics, I have a great video that's coming up next. Go watch that now. I'll see you in there.